Overlord Season 2, Episode 9. Well, my suspicions are getting more and more clear as every episode passes by because in the last episode I made an assumption. The princess, quote unquote, is the assassin we saw in the previous episode, uh, who was wearing the mask. What is the name? Night Eye something? Eagle something, Night Eagle, Night Eye, something like that. Um, something was like that. Her name was, and it got more clear this episode because the way she was acting in front of mirror and stuff, and way she did like at the end where she invited a maid and she was like, "I will kill her if she touches my climb." And I was like, "Yo, this this princess is a yandere." Like, no way you can like literally do this princess is a yandere. I'm like, no, I didn't expect this from Overlord. A yandere. I mean, technically you could say albedo and Sheltier are yanderes too, but this is extra level of yandere. Like, yo, what? Like, what? Yeah. So I didn't expect that, but let's start with the episode of it. The episode started off a bit where it left off, basically. The previous episode. That is Seb, Climb, and Brain. Those three guys basically enter the brothel, basically, which was the household of one of the eight fingers, and that was six finger succulent. So basically, they enter the house and break through stuff. And props to Madhouse, like, yo, if this was any other show, hands down, if this was any other show, I am pretty sure they would have not shown that scene they showed up. Like, yo, that fat man, what he was doing, props to Madhouse. Like, yo, if this was any other show, I'm 100% sure that they would have not shown this scene. I'm 100% sure because this man was legit doing stuff that you wouldn't expect from Madhouse. Like, you could see this guy beating down this woman in the bed, and he's like, yo, that's just you could understand what I mean. I mean, you guys must have watched the episode, obviously, but yo, props to Madhouse for that. Like, hands down, props to Madhouse. Like, Madhouse has done such a great job in season 2. Like, they've added so much unexpected stuff. Like, the first season they didn't even have so many unexpected stuff, like the lizard scene. Let's not get that weird, but obviously the beatdown scene of the girl, the explanation of the how brutally she was beat down in the episode 6 or 7, I think so. And then this episode, what they showed to us, yo, props to Madhouse for that. Like, yo, that's something. Now, moving on. Basically, we all know Seb is too OP. This show was just like how brutal this guy was, and I like what Seb did. All right, well, I like what Seb did. He was like, I am not gonna show mercy to you. Like, yo, this is unforgivable. I'm like, yo, I like this guy. Like, I hands down said Seb is my favorite character in the previous episode review I made, and in this episode I clearly said, like, he makes it even more clear to me why I like this character. Like, this guy is just he's just awesome. But now we move on to the next scene, and we see Climb and Brain. They kind of go in this basement after killing certain people or unconscious, making them unconscious. They go into a certain basement, and when they go into this certain basement, you could see that there are a lot of boxes in there, and Brain basically goes to the other side of the door, or other side means inside the door, where there are noises. So we see that Brain goes on the other side, and Climb is out there protecting that door. And he feels something strange about these huge boxes. A huge box, basically. There's just one huge box. The rest are just normal boxes. But there's this one huge box, and Climb feels something strange about it, and he checks it or checks around. For a moment, it was like nothing special, until he goes back to defend the door, and the one of the box like pops down, and you see the six fingers succulent come out of the box with some weird guy named Crocodile. I don't know. He must be some kind of slave dealer or something. I don't know. That was what his role was. I don't remember. Yeah, something like that. Slave dealer role, if I'm correct. That's what his role was. So they would come out of the six fingers, and the slave dealer come out of that box. And a very unique technique that succulent had was he had a illusional technique. Like he basically made illusion out of his full right hand, and very interestingly, that technique interests me because like illusions are something I've been used to a lot while watching Naruto. So it's like, yeah, that was a very unique thing to see because I'm referencing Naruto because there's Sharingan and stuff in that. So yeah, illusions. But other than that, nothing else. It's just the illusion, the genjutsu to be exact. So he was under illusion, making him invisible. He was creating illusions and stuff. And you see this man defeated Climb and everything. Like he straight down almost killed Climb, and Climb got up, no problem. So Climb got up, no problem, and he was bleeding and stuff. Like you could see he was injured. Like he was injured while he's getting up. So just when Climb got up, Brain comes out to save the day. I know it's very cliche and everything, but it was cool to see Brain because in the first season we saw how Brain got shattered by Sheltier, and it was like, yo, what? Like this guy was broken by her. So you see Brain doing something cool in this season. It was like, okay, that was unexpected. That was something really really cool. Like that attack which didn't work on Sheltier, which is like sensing everything that is invisible, that worked on this guy. And yeah, it makes sense because this guy was using illusion to mask his presence. So it would make sense that he would take him down with that, and he basically takes down that. So basically that happens, and I think that's basically it. What happens, and Sebas comes down there, and Brain is like, "Yo, how did this happen? Like, I couldn't even sense Sebas. Like, this guy was so illusional." Oh, another thing about Sebas is that when at the start of the episode, we see Sebas has this unique, demon-like red eyes, in the start, and it was like, I was like, art. What is this guy like? Is this guy like some kind of demon? Because it could be a possibility because we have seen a vampire. We know there is a what is it? What is albino? I don't know. Is she a demon? I don't know. But we have seen a vampire. We have seen a beetle, like hands down a beetle, and then we basically, yeah, and then we have seen a centipede, like a half centipede, and then um after that we have seen two elves and stuff, and then yeah, that's basically how Ein's team basically was. And now, getting back into this topic, like yeah, Sebas pretty much praises them, like did a good job and stuff. And after that, we could see a little apprehension scene from, like, everybody gets apprehended for what they've done, and the brothel basically gets closed down. So that happens, and then we see Sebas returning to his mansion, and Solution, she's waiting out there, and she's like, "Oh, Ainz is waiting," and I'm like, "Oh no." I mean, I will straight up say I don't think so Sebas is gonna get any kind of like some punishment from Ainz, because Ainz basically is making them realize, like, he wants his servants to realize that he's basically, like I said in my last video, like Ainz wants his servants to realize that they should make their own choices because they have their own free will. Like, he takes care of them as their own child, so like their own children, his own children. So it's just like It's just like Ainz is making trying to make like Sebest made his own choices. So I don't think so Ainz will do anything that'll give him severe punishment or anything. I don't think so that's gonna happen or anything, because Ainz is trying to make everyone realize that they should get their own choices. So yeah, I don't think so anything major would happen to Sebastian. But after after that, we also see a scene, little scene between the princess and Climb, and we see that they're building up on the romance platform on with princess and the princess and the princess and the Climb. Wow. The princess and Climb, yeah, because the Climb that kind of makes sense. Yeah, whatever. The princess and Climb, they're trying to build up the romance between them, but yo, ah, okay, I'll get into that part too. So after that, next shot shows us a little friendship build up between Brain and Sternoff, or Gazef, to be exact. So they are building up on their relationship too, a little friendship, little like rivalry friendship type of relationship. Like we could see that we could see a little like that in the future. And what's next? I think so. Really surprised me. That ending really surprised me. Not the Eight Fingers ending. Yeah, we saw Eight Fingers and his other crew members all around him. But other than that, it was just like a little cliffhanger for you guys, so that, oh, here are the next villain for the next arc. Here we go. Like, that was basically the cliffhanger. But yo, the princess is a yandere. Like, yo, that got me like, what? I didn't expect, because from the start, from episode 6 when she was introduced, it was almost looking like she was a very like calm, intelligent person who was like taking choices step by step. She's getting the right choices done. She even helped Climb, and it's like she's a kind person, gentle person, and then all of a sudden they show the princess is a yandere. Here you go. Like, that plot twist is like, yo, what? Look, legit. She was just practicing her smiles and stuff. She was like, oh, does this smile suit me? Does this smile suit? I'm like, what happened here? What's this sudden change? For a second, I thought she would have been a member of the Finger Gang, and I was like, what? Is this usually happening? And then when she called out the maid, oh, oh no, that's when I was like, whoa, oh no, that's unexpected. But yeah, that was basically the whole thing about the whole episode in general. In scale from 1 to 10, this episode for me was an 8.5 all over. It was pretty good. I'll not lie. It had a lot of good moments in this episode, especially the fight scenes were well made out. Especially props to Madhouse for including the Fat Man scene. It was an awesome thing. And then, not to mention the plot twist, the princess is a yandere. So there was a lot of unexpected stuff. Yes, there was some cliche in the fighting scenes and stuff, but other than that, it was a pretty damn good episode, especially the plot twists and stuff, especially with the cliffhanger. So it was a pretty damn good episode for the final episode of this arc, because I know people are complaining that this arc should be much longer. Like, this arc, if Ola, this season of Overlord should have been like 24 episodes long, because this arc is big, like huge. It's like it's covering up since episode 6 basically. The whole after the Lizard Man arc, this whole arc is basically like volume 4 to 6 or something, and that's a huge amount of information. Like, four, like, am I correct? Volume 4 to 6? No, I'm sorry. Volume 5 and 6, not 4 to 6. Volume 4 was Lizard Man. So yeah, 5 and 6, and that's still a huge amount of like 2 volumes for a single arc, and that's something, because this arc is a huge arc. Basically, that's what I'm saying. So right now, there are only 3 more episodes left to go. So I think the 24 episode series would have been a much better choice, because the I don't say that this is a bad series in any way. It's good. It's better than its predecessor, and I really enjoy it because how it is. But just in general, I would have loved to see more of Sebas. I would love to see more of whatever is gonna come next. Because I think that there's just the best solution so far that I've seen, and I would like to see more character development for Climb. I would like to see more character development for Brain, but you know, Madhouse has some huge schedules up ahead too, so they. I can understand why they are rushing this series, even though it's one of their best-selling series. So I'm like, I understand why it's happening because Madhouse is tight on schedules too. I get it, but yeah, a 24 episode series. It would have been fun because it's just like Overlord is something that's really enjoyable overall. Like it's just not, season 2 is just not like it's not like Heinz focus, and that's what I liked about it. So yeah, from scale to 1 to 10, 8.5 for this episode. Solid 8.5 hands down. There were some flaws because of cliches and stuff. I cut down some of the points, but other than that, it was a pretty good episode. 8.5 out of 10. Yep, there you go. So that is it. Where you scale this episode of Overlord? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video if you like my content, and don't forget to subscribe as I make more anime and gaming content, even though I've not made a gaming content in quite a while, but well, I'll make it someday. And until we meet next time, peace.